Three friends on a journey and a mysterious black box. Will they be able to fulfill their destiny or end as mere pawn in a game? So, hello, book nerds. Welcome to the Author Agency podcast, India's leading author agency known for its book marketing and author branding services. So, today we are in conversation with author Arjun Shaji and his book, The Four Horsemen. So this is the second book. I think it's the second book by author Arjun Shaji, and his first book was Beat of My Heart. So welcome, sir, and it's an honor to have
Thank
you
you.
here with us. And
Pleasure.
let's start with the conversation. And my first, like, I'm really curious to know, like, my curiosity is like, first book is a love story and then second one is fantasy, so why such a major shift from love story to fantasy?
Um, well, to be honest, I like all kind of genres, and I wanted to experiment more on it. And if the Beat of My Heart is not exactly a love story; it's a collection of different stories. And I was there's love story in it. Obviously, there's a love story in it. There's fantasy book novels in it. It's a like I included like different kind of genres together because I was experimenting with myself to see which one I'm more comfortable writing. So I used my first work as a precursor to start my journey as a writer because it's a collection of short stories. The first one, like I said, I wanted to know which one I'll be more comfortable because my reading interest very because I read all of it. I don't have a particular genre that I will only read. For example, I'm not somebody who will just read mythology. I'm not someone who just reads romantic novels. So, more than reading, I wanted to know which one I can excel as a writer. So, like I said, it was more of an experimental one for me, the first one, and I understood, and from what I got from the readers, I understood that I have more skill with mythology and fantasy. So I strive to that, and also, yeah, that's the main reason. Yeah,
So that means like that first book which you wrote was just in like an experiment kind of thing for you to judge
yeah,
like in which
yeah,
genre you are like more well versed, and so you
yeah.
decided that okay, mythology is something which I should go for it. So
Yes, yes, yes.
any specific like topic you chose for your mythology, or like apocalyptic fantasy, or any defining
Yeah,
moment that you came up with this book?
I was always interested in Greek mythology because I was first introduced to Greek literature when I was in my college when I was doing my bachelor's in English. So I found it very similar to our Indian mythology. There's a lot of similarities, so I wanted to know more about it. So I started reading more books related to that, and there's one book called Greek literature, Greek Gods for Dummies. That's the first book I read, which gave me a basic idea about how Greek literature is. So I focused more on it, and I wanted to introduce it to our Indian audience as well because there are a lot of movies which are made in Western world based on this, but I'm not sure how much of an exposure people here has received based on it. So I wanted to explore more, and also I wanted to introduce to the people in India basic more like there are more mythologies just apart from Hindu, Christian, and Muslim that we are more familiar with, and also a bit of Jain as well. And here I introduce Egyptian mythology as well, which is not a very familiar track for the people here. I'm also people are into. I know a lot. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't met a single person who doesn't like the movie Mummy. It's basically Egyptian mythology, and they're all interested in it. So I think why don't take a dig in it? And I want to create a universe, a world where all these mythologies, I mean, they exist together. So I wanted to create a blended world where Hindu, Christian, all these gods are real, and at the same time they have their own domain. And I wanted to make it as real as possible and introduce I mean, to make the people who are familiar with, they will get excited to read those things together in a blended universe. Because I was one of those guys when I watched I like to watch or read books related to that. For example, Amish Tripathi's novels, it's always amazing. So this kind of work really excited me. So I wanted to create a universe like that. That was my ultimate aim. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like while reading, also I felt this thing that you have taken Hindu mythology. Karna is there. Then there is like this epileptic fantasy kind of thing is there. So you have taken that Sindbad the sailor. You have introduced that
Yeah,
character also. Narnia is also there. Various like variety of characters are there. So it was like I while reading, I was also thinking why no Hindu mythological character is there. But while at the end, when I reached towards that Aryan's this thing, when
yeah,
he opens his card and he reaches there, then Karna is there, Lord Indra is there. So it was quite interesting, covering all different kinds of. I would say mythology, gods and goddesses, different kind of things. Narnia was also there. Janaki's when she lands there in the world of Narnia, the kingdom of Narnia, that was also very nice. Like that, all those things were very, made me think why all the because I have never read a book which has like such a vast, which has covered such a vast characters from different mythology. That was the thing. So it was really very nice kind of concept, and it was no doubt it was very engaging also. So there
thank
were
you.
three characters, and any character which you think that was very difficult for you to write or to create, like main three characters were there, so which character you think was very difficult for you?
For me, the hardest one to write was Aryans because I mean, yeah, because if you write, if you go to Janaki's, she's going to the world of Narnia. That's something that the people are. I mean, if you read the books or Chronicles of Narnia, they are almost aware about the universe. So if someone who knows about Narnia reads it, they will already be interested in it. They will already have a sense of what the world is going to be. And for Deekshith, I mean, it's a poem. If you, in CBSE schools, especially if you're study rate standard, there is this novel. A section of that poem, Rhyme of the Ancient Man, is yeah, yeah. And if you study literature in college, then you will study the whole poem as well. So these two are already existing works, so people will be more, like, how do I put it? They will already have the interest to read it. But when it comes to Aryan's world, because I already established in the beginning that he's not a vivid reader, so his world is basically a blend of so many things together. And also, I wanted to put in Indian, a bit of Indian mythology in it, and that was the hardest part because our Hindu mythology is pretty complex, and I don't want to mess it up. So I try to make it as less as possible, but at the same time, I wanted to make it as accurate as possible. So it had a lot of reading for me to do, and also I made sure that I have to bring in all the familiar characters that people are already familiar with. Even when I'm introducing other characters which they're not open to, this I want to bring in the people that they already know, and I want to add my own twist to it so they can interest them. So I didn't want them to be a stereotypical, but I wanted to do all these things, and hopefully it came out well. Yeah, because of all this blending in, and I was creating an entirely different world for Aryan, which was different to Nani. I mean Janaki and um, Deekshith, because they had their own universe already. So it was pretty challenging. It took me the most time to write as well, and it is also mostly action oriented. I mean, if you go through it, the first one, Deekshith is mostly his if you read Hamlet, it's more about to be or not to be. It's more an internal battle for Dikshit. For Janaki, it's about like deciding she has to go. She's a very very doubtful person. She has to grasp everything. She needs to like decide by her. She's a born leader, but at the same time, she doesn't trust people easily. So it's both of them. It's more like an internal battle but for Aryan, it's more of an external because he's more of a doer than a thinker. So it wasn't easy for me to mix up everything. Yeah.
Nice, yeah. Aryan's character, I too like, but I think I was more impressed by the Janki's character. No, I think Dikshit was also in. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused because Dikshit was like he was very timid, and by the end of that, he became very brave, kind of. So that's what I
Yeah.
liked about Dikshit's character. He was always very scared off, and but he tried to like win all his fears, and finally he was able to overcome all those things. So that is what I liked about Dikshit also. So My next thing, which I just want to know, is like while writing this book, did you finish this book in a single go, or you were like in segments? You were writing first the character of Deekshith or Janaki, and then other, and then mixing up the things.
Well, I had an idea how these characters were going to be because, for example, Deekshit is vaguely based on my friend's child. I mean, the movie is only 5 years old, but I can see his nature and how he is brought up. So I had that in my mind. Even the name is my friend's kid's name. And Janaki was a name I was going to give to my daughter because if I get a next daughter, I want her to be named Janaki. So I input those things in it. So these two characters, I basically Janaki is wrote in a way that how I want my kid to be. That's how I wrote Janaki when I was writing that. Yeah, and so I had a idea about how these characters were, but the plot was in my mind right from the beginning, and I wanted to give more importance to character growth. And because mostly when I read works, most like character growth is something that is absent in most of the works I read. So I want them to grow, like you said, from Deekshit when he first came in, he was a very scared little person. He doesn't know what to do, but as the story went on, he became more and more confident, and that's exactly what I wanted. What I wanted the readers to feel. I needed that character growth for these two characters, and yeah, that was something I gave importance to. And for your other question, like, did I go in one go? Yeah, I didn't have a writer's block when I was doing this because I had the idea in my mind. I knew the characters that I was going to input because all the characters that I put in my first book before I started reading, I mean, before I started writing, I spent another 2, 3 months in library all day. I was focusing, I was noting down the characters. I wanted to know who these people are, I mean, characters are. So I wanted to know, I mean, for example, writing Cerebrus, the three-headed dog, that was the most difficult thing for me to do because there is different depiction of the same character in different books. So I had to take a because the three heads of the Cerebrus is represented differently in different books, and I mean. So I had to go through all of it, and I have to get all the important traits that I like. I put it in, and in some stories they're just three heads, and there is nothing special about it. So I had to add my stuff into it. And so because of all the notes I have made before I started writing it was not that hard for me. I was able to finish it in one go. Yeah.
Okay. So that means there was no, after deciding what you are going to write, there was no blockage. You could finish it in a single go. The book was ready. It was not
Yeah,
never
I
like
was
that
able
you
to do
got
that. Yeah.
stuck somewhere. No, you just followed your
No,
notes
I
and you
was never
continued
stuck.
with the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I did a lot of research before I wrote. Yeah.
that's good. Okay. So like your favorite character, I think, is Janki, or
Yeah.
it's
Of
Deekshith.
course.
Your favorite character out
No,
of the
for me, it's
three.
Janaki. It's always Janaki.
Is
I
you
got a
told
11-year-old
me.
daughter.
So
Even she loves Janaki.
no, Janaki was very nice. She was very brave. But I think for me, the change I could see was in Dikshit. So I think that is something
Yeah.
the book, as the book says, that quest, the quest was there, like how they are
Yeah.
going
No.
to win over their fears and all these things. So Dikshit did it very well. And I think his part was, I think, maximum description was about Dikshit only. When you
Yeah.
see the novel, how it is divided, the character of Dikshit was like, and whatever he has gone through was described. Mostly the book covers maximum of his part. Dikshit's character is
Yeah.
capturing most of the book. So uh, after, like, your book was released, everybody read it. So what was your like feedback? How, what your readers, how they reciprocate? Anybody, any feedback you got about your readers? Because the book is entirely different kind of fantasy book, what I felt. Because see, honestly speaking, when I picked the book, I was like not sure what exactly it is. And again, one more thing I would like to add, I'm not a big fantasy fan. And when I started, and I think when I started, then I realized, okay, when I looked at the blurb and all and everything in detail, then I came to know, okay, it's a fantasy book. When I starting was very nice. Everything went off very nice. And then when you started with the characters, they're moving to the different area, different zone, everything become very nicely, and then it moved very nicely for me. So anything, any feedback you got from your readers, like, and how they, how, what readers they told you?
Well, they're mostly positive. I was very nervous, to be honest, when I first read it. First wrote it. I'm going to give it to the first person to read, and I was very happy. I was overwhelmed with the response. Actually, I wasn't expecting this much positive feedback, honestly. But again, yeah, the only negative one I got, which I agree, was the same thing. He told me that. It's not negative, like because I sometimes I over explain things because I was just trying to make sure like people get more familiar with because especially when it comes to Egyptian gods, when I add like I said the Cerberus character or Medusa, not everyone is like familiar with this character. So I wanted them to know what these characters are, and by doing that, I might have like explain a little bit more. And I worked on it, like I said, for my next work. I made sure I give the least descriptions. So yeah, I was very happy with the response. I wasn't
So
expecting
I
such
was
a
also
positive
not
response.
familiar with quite you the things which you have portrayed in the book. I was also not familiar, honestly speaking. I also googled many things like many times. I was not clear about the things because I'm not that much familiar with the Greek mythology and all. So many like
Yeah,
to because to enjoy the book you need to know the things in depth.
yeah,
So
I know.
many like it was
Yeah,
moments where there when I really googled and I tried to find out what exactly the author is trying to say, why he has used this character, what is the basically what is in depth, what is about this thing, this god or whatever character you have used. Few characters was totally like they were just we I knew about the superficial, only the top cover of that character, not that in depth. I was not knowing about in
yeah,
depth. So for me also it was like I wanted to enjoy the book. That's why I googled and tried to find out what exactly the author is conveying. And when I could get into the depth, I really enjoyed it. Okay, this is not just a fantasy book, it is having some message also. All the three characters, they are undergoing some kind of change, and why this change is happening,
yeah.
why all these things have happened, why they have got those cards. So there is some exact concrete reason for that. So that is what I liked about the concept, because fantasy books, they don't have really any exact fixed concept, concrete concept kind of thing. But here the author was like conveying some message through the story. So that was the best part for me. And so I'll come to like one question which I don't know which you want to reveal it or not, or mostly the readers might be knowing also, I don't know. But you have not mentioned the fourth horseman. So
Yeah.
second part is expected soon, that means.
Yes, I'm working on it. Before that, I made a prequel to this book. I wrote a prequel which deals with the birth of Janaki. I wrote that already, and it's about to be published in the next couple of months. Yeah, I'm working on that now. So I'm doing a prequel first. After this, I will continue the story. Yeah,
I was really shocked when I reached the end. I was waiting. I was like going through the pages, and I was like, "What about the fourth horseman? When it will come? When it will come?" And then suddenly the book ended, and then I was like, "Okay, might be second part will come," because there were
yeah,
four horsemen mentioned. So where is the fourth one? So I was like really a little bit curious to know. Then finally, when it ended, I was like, "Okay, now the book is over. The author is definitely going up with the second this thing part." So
yeah.
apart from the book, one question which I have got, like as you talked about literature and all, so do you think literature has the responsibility to I would say reflect the hope and the chaos in the society, like is the literature responsible to reflect all these things, and this responsibility is shared by the authors also, and how they can share.
I strongly believe so. I strongly do because basically for a human being, everything we see, everything we do, it's called adaptability. We adapt and we learn from it. And if you read a books can always influence people. So I believe that through the as an author through the books we can send the right message to everyone. And by doing that, I believe we have a moral responsibility as writers, and it's not just for others. Anyone who deals with art, anyone who has the ability to influence people, it's a responsibility for us to share. Through the society, through the right way, so we will be as human beings, we'll be successful. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that's true. Because I think literature is always influenced by whatever is going in the society, isn't it? I feel that.
Exactly. I
I
mean,
also,
most,
yeah, no?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, any book, any specific book which inspired you to write fantasy? Any specific book which you have like read and you thought, okay, now I am also going to write a book like this?
The main reason, I mean, I like Percy Jackson, to be honest. So the whole Percy Jackson series, it's a seven-book series. I absolutely loved it. I remember coming across it. I was like 16 or 17 when I came across the Percy Jackson novels, and I was completely inspired by it because it was a new interpretation of the Greek mythology, like what happens if this happens in the modern world. And they gave a new spin-off for that whole Greek mythology, because if you go through it, because there's a lot of things that doesn't like um, connect with science. For example, in Greek mythology, it says the Earth is flat and it's not round. So for that, they gave their own spin-off for it, and it made it logical. And there are a lot of things they added to make sure that it will resonate with a present-day audience. And I really liked it. So I like, okay, this is good. So I finished the whole series in like 20 days maybe. I'm a vivid reader. Once I get into it, I won't eat, I won't sleep. I'll just in one go I'll finish it off. I'll just keep my phone away and I'll just read. That's how I used to read. And my wife, she used to complain all the time, but that's how it is for me. And then after finishing it, then I came across Immortals of Meluha and I was like, oh my God, we can do it too. This is awesome. So I mean, then I read. I was like, wow. And I still remember one scene where Shiva meets Sati for the first time, and the way she dances, when he sees her for the first time, how he describes her, it was like I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I wish I could write something like this. So then I started reading more of these things. Then I went into Egyptian. There's a book called Egyptian Gods. So it's a series again. So I tried to I can't remember the name of the writer. It starts with Neil. I can't remember the full name. It's about a modern world, an American society where all gods live together. Like there is Zeus and Egyptian gods, our Indian gods like Kali and Ganesha, they're all there in the society. And he gave his own spin-off there because in that universe, it's in that world, it's all about how the gods get power by the more you worship. If more people worship them, they're more powerful. So the Kali, the great Kali, the Kali's version in America is less powerful compared to the same Kali in India. So I
Okay.
like that concept. So yeah, more all these things I keep reading. I try to collect it, and I wanted to create a similar universe at the same similar but at the same time different, and that's how I got into it. Yeah. So all these books helped me a lot.
So the book which you mentioned, in which all the gods they get more power, which one is that one?
It's called American Gods.
American Gods. Okay. I'll have
Yeah,
to. I
yeah.
just.
It's a serious
I think
American
it's a
God. It's
nice
really
one,
really good.
and
So
I've never
I
read
know.
Greek gods. I definitely like to go for that. Also, I've never read about any of the Greek gods specifically. A book about Greek gods. There are some bits of characters here and there we come to know from the books and all, but I've never read any book specifying specifically for the Greek gods. I think I should, after
Yeah,
when
you
talking to you, I think I should go for that also. It's something
Yeah, you'll
different
be
and
very
unique.
surprised. They're very similar to Hindu gods. They have similar powers, even similar stories. I mean, most of the weapons they possess is very similar to the ones Hindu gods have. They're very, very similar, and there are a lot of theories connected to that as well. I'm going through that for my next work. Yeah. This will end up into a different conversation if I go through all that. Yeah, but for the next work, the one that I'm presently working on, I'm trying to write about a son of Lord Krishna, which is not very. I mean, he's supposed to be having 800 sons, 800 of them, and so I'm yeah, it's not a lot of people knows about it. I'm picking one of those forgotten sons character, and I'm trying to get as much as data as I can about that character. I'm trying to write something which is completely rooted in Indian mythology because about a character which is not really with the world is not familiar with. I'm trying to connect him with another Western character. It's based on, I mean, you might be familiar with Shelley. I mean, there's a no Mary Shelley is a novelist, and she wrote a epic novel called Frankenstein. It's about a scientist who created a human being. by mixing different body parts of different other different humans. They mixed up, and he made life. He got life into that person. But when he came out, he was extremely strong, and he doesn't look like human. He looks little greenish. His skin, everything is different. So the the creator doesn't want to take what do you say? The creator doesn't want to do anything with the creation, so he didn't even give a name for that person. Frankenstein is the name of the scientist who created him. So the monster basically will spend the rest of his life trying to hunt down the creator, and which he does. And once he kills once he kills the scientist, his life has no purpose. So I try to mix these two different characters together. So then for the next work, it's a that's what I'm trying to do. I completely try to
It
connect
will
it
be
up. Yeah,
interesting. I like the
yeah.
concept. It's very nice, interesting
I'm
one.
trying to work on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you will do a good,
So,
great job. I've read one book. I know now. You know
thank you,
this is like you
thank
can
you,
do.
thank you,
So you will definitely do. So I think it was nice talking to you. There are so many things I came to know. I wish we could have talked more. So here I would like to say thanks to you for in the converse. We were in
it's a
conversation with
pleasure.
author Arjun Shaji, and whose recent release is The Four Horsemen. And thank you, sir. Thank you for taking our time
Pleasure.
and joining us. And it was an immense pleasure talking to you. Came to know about so many things, and it really inspired me also to read some books on Greek mythology about the Greek gods. I definitely like to pick few, and definitely American gods. I really want to find out what exactly this book is
Oh,
about.
it's
I
really,
like the
really good.
concept.
You will love it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely will. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best for your future endeavors, and
Thank you.
hope to read the next book soon, whatever you're going to write. And
Thank you.
been expecting to get a new book very soon, and the second part of this one also, The Four Horsemen. Hope you
Coming
release
out.
it
It will be coming
soon,
out
and
soon.
so
Yeah.
that we can
Yeah. Sure.
find out what exactly the fourth horseman is like about. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.